like Scoob! Like, what kind of universe are we in now, man? This is weird, man! Hey guys, how you doing today? This is David Lucas back here again. Welcome back to my channel. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing Scoob, that just got recently released on VOD. And it's basically the new Scooby-Doo movie, the reimagining, or whatever you want to call it, of the new Scooby-Doo. This has been a movie that I actually kind of was looking forward to. I actually was really looking forward to this one. If you remember my video that I posted a few months ago, when it was the first look at the whole Scoob movie, the first look at the Mystery Gang, and the Mystery Chuck, and basically the first plot synopsis of what's going on, and then we had the first trailer that came out. I actually was pretty enjoying it. I remember I was saying that I did actually was really excited about this, and I was looking forward to it a lot, and I was really looking forward to this. It got released on VOD, on video on demand, because of the whole pandemic thing. No theaters are going on, so this is, I think, like the second movie that finally, the second big movie that got released on VOD. And I had to check it out right when I seen it was there. Now I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan. I grew up with Scooby-Doo. Some of my earliest memories is watching Scooby-Doo with my mom and watching Scooby-Doo Zombie Island and all the 90s Scooby-Doo shows, and especially the original Scooby-Doo shows. Those were always, classics, the best. But my main memory is always with the 90s Scooby-Doo and all those Scooby-Doo shows and a pup named Scooby-Doo. Those were my childhood memories alive with Scooby-Doo. So I love Scooby-Doo. I'm a big fan. I love the whole supernatural mystery kind of thing, the detective kind of style stuff. I always love that kind of stuff. I'm always interested in detective kind of stories and mystery kind of stories and whodunit kind of stories, and that's what Scooby-Doo always was. I always felt like Scooby-Doo went away when I didn't do those kind of stories, and I did sometimes, and I didn't like those kind, but that's really what attracted me to Scooby-Doo. Now we got Scoob, which is basically a whole reimagining of Scooby-Doo, and basically a retelling of a modern version of Scooby-Doo. Honestly, when I heard that, I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, okay, this could be really cool. I'm really interested in a modern telling of the Scooby-Doo story. I was expecting, we'll probably have a cool mystery going on, some cool scares, some haunted house stuff. A really good feeling Halloween type of movie. And, yeah, we did not get that at all. No, we did not. So the whole plot and summary of Scoob is that if you see a child named Shaggy that is all alone on the beach, he's basically all alone, has no friends, and he ends up meeting a dog, and he ends up calling this dog Scooby-Doo. So he meets a group of friends named Fred, Daphne, and Velma, and they all start on their journey to become supernatural hunters. Yeah, so this movie. I'm gonna try to think of some good things I can say about this movie, because honestly, there aren't really good things about this movie at all. I did not enjoy this movie. But some of the good things I can say that does have going for it is that, the return of the voice of Frank Walker as Scooby-Doo. The original Scooby-Doo voice, that's awesome. I like that. I like that we get him to come back. We get a nice little comeback from him. That's awesome. I love him returns of voice Scooby-Doo. Even though you can tell in the voice that he is getting older. He's not the old voice that he used to have when he was younger, but it's still nice to have him there. So the beginning, like the first couple minutes of the film, I think like the first 10 minutes or so of the film, 10-15 minutes, I actually really liked, and I actually would say I wish the first 10-15 minutes of this movie, is what we should have gotten, is what should have been the movie. I would have enjoyed that a lot, actually, if it was that. Because in the beginning, we get to see the introduction of Shaggy and Scooby, and then we get to see their first, hunt, when they first go into a haunted house as kids together, and we get to see them have their first mystery and solve their first mystery together as kids. And, that actually was really cool. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of a little fun. It felt a little good and nostalgic. It felt like, okay, cool, we're back in Scooby-Doo, but it's a modern version of it. I like it. I like it a lot. It was cool. And then we get to see a little montage of, the original Scooby-Doo opening of them solving all their mysteries and all that, which is cool. I like that a lot. And then after that, nothing else. Yeah, after that, there's really nothing redeeming about this movie. And let me just say, first off the bat, that this movie is so hard to get through. I watched it twice. twice in 2 days because the first time I couldn't finish the ending. I couldn't get through it. I was just like, okay, I'm too bored of this. I kept almost falling asleep because it was just boring and not interesting at all. It was hard to get through. This movie is seriously hard to get through for me. Whole main villain, Dick Dastardly, the main villain, his whole plot of this movie, his whole goal is to capture Scooby-Doo. Apparently, Scooby-Doo is the ancestor of this ancient dog that Dick Dastardly wants to find. So that is his whole goal, is to capture Scooby-Doo. Because Scooby-Doo is related to this dog, apparently. This ancient dog, apparently. The whole group isn't together at all in this movie. They're literally together. The first 20 minutes of this film were together. And then they get all split up by a guest appearance by Simon Cowell, I guess. Simon Cowell literally split up the entire Mystery Inc. group. He split them all up. Shaggy and Scooby go off on their own ways. And then the rest of the group kind of stays by. We don't really know what they do. They don't do much. They just are off on their own thing while Shaggy and Scooby go do their own thing. That's nothing to do with actually what Scooby-Doo is. I don't understand this, and I don't understand why Simon Cowell, out of all people, is the people that splits up the fucking mystery group. The Mystery Inc. Incorporated is Simon Cowell. What this movie tries to do, and you can tell that what it tries to do, is try to take Scooby-Doo and put it in a modern world, put it in a modern group for a modern audience. But in doing that, they literally could forget about the entire old audience Scooby-Doo, the people who actually grew up with Scooby-Doo. And it's fine. I'm totally for doing something new for a modern group of audience. I'm all for that. But there's a certain point where you go where you're honestly just completely changing the character and changing the IP. And it almost feels like they don't even want to go by the real IP of Scooby. They're too afraid to try the mystery, all detective, all kind of finding out who's under the mask kind of thing. It feels like they're too afraid of that they don't want to do that. And I don't know why, but they go in a completely different direction. And they make Scooby-Doo, this whole franchise, kind of feel like a Marvel Cinematic Universe type of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Marvel Cinematic Universe trying to be like that, but that's nothing what Scooby-Doo ever was, and is nothing to even close to how Scooby-Doo should be. Try to incorporate Scooby-Doo elements, like the mystery machine, and kind of them in the beginning, them trying to do investigations and all that. They incorporate that, but it doesn't work because the rest of the movie doesn't abide by any of that. The rest of the movie tries to be something completely different that is not Scooby-Doo. And I don't understand why they're doing that. And I get it. I get it that they're trying to get a new audience of people in, but it just doesn't work because they completely forget about what made Scooby-Doo Scooby-Doo. Honestly, isn't a sense of time at all in this movie, I realized, because in the very beginning, it looks like it's in the 90s. When you see them as kids, Shaggy as a kid and everything, it looks like it's in the 90s. Everyone's dressed like the 90s. They're listening to kind of 90s music. There's one person with the boombox stuff. It looks 90s. And then Shaggy whips out a freaking smartphone. And then you're like, wait, what? What? And then all the years go by, and everything just looks the same. Nothing looks like it aged at all. Anything. They still have a smartphone. It still looks old-fashioned. It's really confusing. It's like this movie, they have no time period whatsoever, and it doesn't feel timeless. It doesn't feel seamless. That's never been Scooby-Doo. It just doesn't feel right at all in this. In this movie, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy meet a comic book character who was part, I guess, of the Hanna-Barbera universe. I don't know much about Hanna-Barbera or the universe, but Blue Falcon, they end up, I think that's his name, right? Blue Falcon. That's who they run into in this, and they team up with him on this, basically, mission. It doesn't, again, it's so uninteresting that it doesn't even, I don't ever remember what it is because it's so uninteresting and just not what I came in this movie to watch at all. Character is really dumb, and he puts out really dumb jokes and that don't land at all. He tries to act like some kind of a modern, says modern lines, modern social media kind of hashtags and lines and all that stuff. That's kind of what they try to do in it. It doesn't work. Honestly, what my thoughts that I get out of this whole film and what I get out of the filmmaking that went behind it and just the whole story itself, is that they are honestly, they take this IP of Scooby-Doo because they know it will make probably money. They know a lot of people go see it, but they're trying to give it to a modern audience, which is fine, which is totally cool, but they're too afraid to use what the source material, what actual Scooby-Doo is, what makes Scooby-Doo Scooby-Doo and makes them so interesting and so lovable for all these years. They're too afraid to use that, and then they end up trying to do something completely new and different and make it seem like some kind of Marvel universe, a shared universe. What end up and the ending made this basically be a shared universe, and that's just not Scooby-Doo. It's like they want to take Scooby-Doo, the names and characters, but make something completely new and different out of it, and that just doesn't work. And I feel like if you are, a young kid, you don't really know the old Scooby-Doo cartoons, you never watch any of the other Scooby-Doo stuff, or even if you're an older person, but you still never watch Scooby-Doo, you just never were attached to Scooby-Doo like that, I think you actually will walk out of this enjoying it. I think you'll walk out of this and be like, that was a fun, cute movie. But if you're actually a Scooby-Doo fan, and you love Scooby-Doo your whole life, and you're a big part of your whole life, and you watch this movie, I honestly don't think you will like this movie, because it just doesn't feel or seem like Scooby-Doo, and yet you can literally tell in the filmmaking that they're too afraid to use what Scooby-Doo actually is for some reason, and I don't know why. It was nice to see the voice of Scooby-Doo back, the original Frank Walker voice of Scooby-Doo back. It was nice of that. The first 10 minutes of it was really cool. I actually really enjoyed the first 10, 15 minutes. And that's very much it. The voice cast didn't really interest me as much. The voice of Shaggy didn't really interest me much at all. The whole plot of the movie was really lame. The villain was really lame. It was not a good Scooby-Doo movie to me, and it just wasn't maybe a good movie at all to me. Other people might disagree. Final scoring I have to give the Scoob. It kind of hurts me to say this because I was looking forward to this, but I'm going to have to give it. I'm going to have to give Scoob a 4 out of 10 too. Yeah, I did not like this movie at all, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend really buying it because it's $20 on Amazon and on Video On Demand, and I don't think it's worth $20 to rent at all. It really isn't. Go watch another movie. Go watch something else on Netflix or on Hulu or whatever. It really isn't worth it, in my opinion. What did you guys think of Scoob? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you thought it was actually a cool adaptation, a cool reimagining of Scooby-Doo? Or do you thought what I did, that it really was too afraid to do what Scooby-Doo actually is and afraid to use the IP of Scooby-Doo? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this movie, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I always appreciate your support. Thank you guys for watching, as always. And I'll see you next time.